All right, everybody. JD here with Timber and Anvil. Here's that little lathe. We made it safe and sound. This guy, there was no near misses or incidents or anything like that. Didn't drop it. It didn't get sketchy. Um, it's not a super heavy machine, so I really wasn't worried about it, but it did make for good suspense. And I got a lot of views on that short, so it worked. So, we got this thing plugged in. We got power to it. And make sure it's all clear. Fire this thing up. That's good. That's good. You can change gears here. And this thing does come with a whole stack of gears. And what these do is they change the rotational speed of the lead screw. You really only need that if you're doing threads to change the gears, which I plan on doing. And there's a whole bunch of the whole table in here, which is still legible. It's a little dirty, but it's otherwise still perfectly fine. So I could set this thing up to make my own threads, which I'd really like to do. I've never done that before. I have turned some stuff on machine lathes. I do it at work from time to time, but I've never actually had to make a screw. But anyhow, couldn't be happier with this thing. It's a sweet little machine. It's a tiny lathe. And literally, I have wanted something like this since I was a machinist, which was back in 2004 until 2005. I wasn't a machinist for very long. The working conditions were absolutely brutal. You're breathing in secondhand cigarette smoke and machine cutting oil all day long. And I have a history of respiratory issues that I'm not going to go into. But anyhow, what I spent the last couple hours working on, and the reason why my voice sounds muffled right now, is I've been spring cleaning this baby up. So this is the work area that I'm kind of designating as my machine shop. This used to be a chicken coop from the previous owners. So they've got, things for the chickens to climb up on, even that gigantic spool. What you see here is, I don't know, it looks like compacted limestone. That's poured concrete, but I think the rest of it is compacted limestone, which is a common thing back in the day. I don't know if they do that anymore. But I divided this in half, and that half I still have not cleaned. It's going to be a lot of work, but this half I did clean. And so I'm still going to sweep it up a little bit. There's still some, packed in like bird crap and whatnot. So I would like to get it a little bit cleaner. But otherwise, yeah, this is going to be a sweet functional space. When I get the money and time and equipment and whatnot, I would love to have a surface grinder and a machine mill, vertical mill to run in here. That would be absolutely phenomenal, because then I could have a full-fledged machine shop. What could possibly be better than that? Having your own blacksmith shop and machine shop and woodworking shop. This is every proper guy's dream come true. So anyhow, we have to divide and conquer here and clean up the rest of this crap. And I don't think I'm going to do that all in one night like I did today, because that's just a lot of work. Yeah, I'll probably split it in half again and do 1/4 of the shop tomorrow and another quarter on Tuesday or something like that. But I've only got one outlet in here, that guy right there, so need to get more power in here. Right now, obviously, with only one piece of equipment, that's all I need, and I can have a power strip, what have you, but I'd like to get more. Additionally, this is fairly well insulated area, honestly, because they had chickens in here and they didn't want them freezing to death. I don't suspect that there's any insulation behind these walls, but it's 2 layers effectively, so at least you do have a layer of air insulation. And on the ceiling, which is where some 70% of your heat leaves, we need to finish this. Some of these styrofoam pieces are missing. I'd probably tear these down and maybe do like proper insulation in there. But for now, totally functional. You know, you got a couple pieces of styrofoam that fell down over the, I don't know, over the years, what have you. So anyhow, yeah, still some cleaning up to do, but for now, I'm gonna play around with this lathe, see if I can make some chips. I don't have my tripod or anything like that. I didn't want to bring my camera equipment in here for obvious reasons. It would get absolutely loaded with dust, which is not good. But we'll do a video on this thing when we get it all situated. I do need to level it off because being compacted limestone, the floor is not remotely flat. What I would like to do with this thing, which would be a fairly simple project, is I am 6'4". I'm a tall guy, and I'd like to bring this thing up so my headstock is about here. I'm gonna bring it up a good 6 inches. And so what I'll do for that is frame out an area. And well, when I was a machinist, my boss told me about a machine shop in Germany that he visited. They were called Winter Machine Tool Company, and they make very, very high quality cutting tools for machines like this lathe here. And he said the workshop was like a very old school workshop, probably from the 50s, 60s, what have you, and might even be World War II era. But the entire floor of the whole machine shop, where you got all these like professional grade lathes and mills and so on and so forth, the whole floor was like stacked 4x4s on end grain. And so those boards are just constantly soaking up oil from the machines, and they would constantly just run oil throughout them as like a preventative maintenance sort of thing. And whenever boards got kind of warped through the years, maybe with, you know, rising and lowering of the substrate beneath it, gravel or whatever it was, they could just come over with a planer, you know, a floor planing tool or like a floor sander and level it back off again. It's very ergonomic to walk on, and I always thought that was a really cool idea. There's a YouTuber, Mr. Chickadee, who built I think it's a blacksmith shop, and that's what he did for his floor. He stacked in a whole bunch of like 4x4s or whatever it was and sanded them all flat. So I'm kind of thinking that's what I want to do with my lathe here, is frame out an area and I don't know, use angle iron or something and stack up a bunch of 4x4 or 6x6, just cut 6 inches tall and throw them all together, pack them in as tight as I can, maybe with like sawdust or dirt or something like that in between to fill in the gaps and make it tight, and you know, sand it, plane it, whatever, make it flat. That's a thought. The other thought, of course, is to frame out and pour concrete, which is probably more work than I want to do. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm going to stop rambling on and we'll call it here. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Really exciting to grow a new channel from scratch. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. Please hit the like button and subscribe and help me out here. And hope you guys enjoy the show. Bye now.